Hi, welcome to Fish on Fridays. I'm Al McCauley. And there's a phrase that I really like. It says, we decorate space with art and we decorate time with music. And so that's what I want to focus on in today's episode of Fish on Fridays. I want to talk about music. And if I am going to be talking about music in a Catholic web series, I got to be talking about the patron saint of music, whose feast day we celebrate on November 22nd, and that would be, of course, Saint Cecilia. And just as an aside, Saint Cecilia is a very important figure, you might say a patron saint of sorts, to the producer of Fish on Fridays, Emily Shimoleski, because she loves music, she sings, she plays instruments, and she teaches it. So God bless her. So this one's for you, Emily. Saint Cecilia is an early church martyr. She's going to die right at the turn of the 2nd to the 3rd century. We don't know the exact date, but we do know that she was an early church Christian who committed herself and her life to Christ. She vowed her virginity to live for Christ. Unfortunately, as was the case of many women at that time, her parents had promised her in marriage, and this marriage was to a pagan man named Valerian. And, unfortunately for Cecilia, the wedding went on. And after the wedding ceremony, there was all kinds of pagan music that was being played that was very profane and very vulgar to Cecilia's ears and to her Christian sensibilities. So the story is that she walked away a little bit by herself and she started to sing her own songs of praise to God. There were songs of worship. And so this is her connection to music and why she's considered the patron saint of music. She's oftentimes depicted in art as playing the organ or a violin. There's all kinds of different musical instruments around her. We have no clue if she ever played musical instruments or how well she could sing. But because she chose to show her love for God and worship of God through music, through singing at her wedding, instead of the profanity of the world, she is considered the patron saint of music. And very interesting thought. But it's said that on her wedding night, instead of consummating the wedding, the marriage, she was able to convince, through God's grace, through miraculous intervention, she was able to convince Valerian to give up his pagan ways and convert to Christianity. And unfortunately, it wasn't shortly thereafter that they were both beheaded and killed. Now, Cecilia is a very important person in the Catholic tradition. She comes down to us with other female saints who were martyred for their faith in the early church, like Lucy and Agatha. All of them, Cecilia, Lucy, Agatha, Anastasia, were all martyred, and they're all remembered in the canon of the Mass. So for centuries, we have been praying with these holy women who have suffered this awful fate, but we believe are spiritually alive with God in heaven. So just a wonderful example, a wonderful person to go to for all kinds of things, to remind ourselves, do we live for our faith? Are we willing to die for our faith? Are we willing to try to convert people in our corner of the world to our faith and to at least share the truth with them? One of the side notes I want to talk about with Cecilia, though, this is really kind of a neat pop culture reference and connection, is you might have heard of this very popular duo from the 1960s and 70s, a singing duo named Simon and Garfunkel. Simon and Garfunkel were at the height of their career in 1970. That was the year they put out an album called Bridge Over Troubled Water, which, of course, you probably are familiar with that song, that title track. From that album, they released another single called Cecilia, and it went to number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100. So it was a very popular song. Perhaps you know it, Cecilia. And Paul Simon, who wrote that song, has remarked that he was writing about a time when he had no inspiration, when he was having like writer's block and he couldn't think of the songs or he couldn't think of the lyrics and he couldn't think of the melody. And so Cecilia the song Cecilia is a metaphorical plea, if you will, to Saint Cecilia to give him inspiration to write a song. So it's a fascinating look at that pop culture, how just one more way our Catholic faith undergirds and supports, as I've said so many times in this web series, it supports so much that we do in our secular world. And so it's good to know those things and to celebrate them. Thanks for watching. I hope this has been helpful. If you know somebody named Cecilia, if you know somebody maybe who took that as their confirmation name, it's a very popular name for young women. If you know somebody who likes to sing or just likes music in general, maybe they play an instrument, feel free to share this content. That'd be great. Would love it if you'd subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us there and on Facebook. But either way, please keep tuning in every Friday to Fish on Fridays. Until next time, be good to each other and God bless. Cecilia, you're breaking my heart. You're shaking my confidence daily. Sorry about that. I had to sing it though.